another episode of The Ramblers, and we weren't really expecting to make this video today, but we had recently the hip-hop community has had a really big loss.
Yeah, so we just wanted to say RIP to Juice WRLD. I'm pretty sure most of you guys know who this man right here in this image is. Very shocking news still to this very day. I'm still in shock about the whole situation. You know, this happened about 4 days ago on the December 8th. You know, Juice WRLD was a young 21-year-old rapper who is becoming very mainstream, very successful. I'm pretty sure most of the people watching this listen to him, and Shalom and I really listen to him a lot. And totally just unexpected. You know, supposedly he was on a plane trip back from LA, going back to his hometown, Chicago. Now, we don't have every single detail, but we'll get into a little more later. He was unfortunately suffering of a seizure, and supposedly he was bleeding out of his mouth. Very unfortunate, man. Most of what I have to say about this is I'm just still super shocked because we literally just lost XXXTentacion and Lil Peep last year, or about half a year ago. So, you know, time's just flying by.
2017 Lil Peep, 2018 Fredo, 2018. That's crazy.
Yeah, so many people, and we're almost facing the end of a decade, and we literally just lost Juice WRLD.
How did you find out about it?
Exactly. Man. So basically, the way I found out about the whole situation was obviously it happened on Sunday.
Yeah.
Woke up Sunday morning. My dad woke me up really early. He was like, "Hey, I know it's early, but I gotta tell you something." I'm like, "What? Like, what do you gotta tell me?" He's like, "Dude, freaking Juice WRLD just died." So I got on my laptop. I hopped on it right away. I looked it up. Turns out, you know, Juice WRLD dead at 21 years old. How did you find out about the situation?
Since it happened on Sunday, I got up because it's like I got up around like 6 or 7, and so I have to work early in the morning at 8. So you know, I basically get ready. I put on this playlist that the Apple Music gave to me, or like made for me, because it's like the top 100 songs you play.
Yeah.
And I put it on shuffle. The first couple songs is like, you know, I would say Bad Bunny and all this stuff, and then like Juice WRLD came on, Hear Me Calling came on. I was like, oh, okay, I like the song, so I would, you know, put it up.
Just vibing.
And just that week or the previous weeks to go back on that, I was listening to Bandit. Like the whole month, I was listening to Bandit, and you know, of course, other things like Armed and Dangerous and stuff like that. But I got to work, and my friend, before I even clocked in, my friend Carlos told me, "Hey man, did you hear what happened?" Like, wait, what happened? Like, what's up? You know, so I'm still kind of like, still waking up, you know, like, and then my friend's like, "Yo, Juice WRLD died, passed away due to a seizure." I was like, what? You know, like, I had like at least 5 minutes to process it, because basically after you told me that, I had to work.
Yeah.
I work with kids, so like, you know, surrounding yourself with like this new energy, and then like the new, like, you know, the next generation there, and it's kind of like surreal because you're thinking about death, which is Juice WRLD, and then you're thinking about like what's in front of you, which is kids, and I'm like, I couldn't process it, so like it took me a while it took me like a couple days to process it, really. Yeah. But it's just same as everyone, man, like just shocked, you know.
Nah, I feel you, bro. I feel you on that one.
And so
I feel like I kind of felt the same way too, because you know, I was a big fan of X. You know, when we lost him last year, I kind of felt the same way. And with Juice WRLD's passing, for me, it was kind of the same feeling, because I was like, I really like. I can't say I was the biggest Juice WRLD fan, as much as I was an X fan. But what I can say is I felt that same kind of impact, what other people felt, and like what he did for like the rap community. So that's why I just felt like, damn, this is a big hit. Yeah. And you felt that dark cloud like just all over the community the entire day. Everybody was posting it like all over social media.
That day was hella cloudy too, man. Yeah. I mean, like already just like, since it's winter, like it's already like, you know,
it's cloudy outside.
I know, but like that day was especially cloudy. Like, and, like it was like it was the same to say it happened. It's the same time like X died. It was cloudy type. Yeah. It was like depressing. I'm like, that's kind of strange. You know what I mean? Like, it's just weird. You know?
Yeah, I know. It's just that weird.
It was just really like that. That day was weird.
I just want to also speak about Juice WRLD, you know, because obviously this is a tribute conversation a little bit about him.
It's not going to be entirely, you know, just about that, but it's going to be about his legacy.
About his legacy as well. So I'd like to, you know, pay our respects and just say, you know, I think out of a lot of artists, you know, we lost Juice WRLD now, we lost Lil Peep, we lost X, and one thing they all have in common, especially Juice WRLD, is they all contributed to this, like, I'd say whole new wave of hip-hop that we've had recently. And I don't know if you want to call it trap music, I don't know if you want to call it SoundCloud rap, or whatever you want to categorize it as. but they all kind of like had their own way of contributing to this melodic, emo sort of singing rap that has really gotten popular over the past couple years. And what's unique is like each of these artists, and including Juice himself, they all had their own ways and styles of doing it so well.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people like gravitated on the most, and I think that's why people are going to be affected by this death the most, is because out of a lot of new artists, I think Juice WRLD was one that stuck out to a lot of people.
Yeah.
He had that cult fan base, and the lyrics in his music, the message that was portrayed was stuff that people could relate to.
Yeah.
You know?
And they were just the pioneers of it.
The pioneers, right.
Because, they probably weren't the first.
Right, and I'm not going to say there was the first, because there's a whole underground
in terms of like
mainstream-wise,
mainstream, right? And just like bringing it out there more or less, just like making it more well known, and like just making it a trend to be more acceptable.
Yeah,
like talking about mental health, whether it's I never, what's it called? When they talk about mental health, it's kind of like depressing.
Yeah, it could be a taboo topic for some people.
And and I see it,
Yeah,
and it's like you don't have to be going through like depressing times like right now.
Yeah.
Because throughout life it's hard.
Yeah.
So we're still young. We're like 19. Like he was a couple of years older than us. And
like only 2 years older.
And
21.
then like him and then all these other artists, or just even other people, just regular people. Like everyone goes through shit.
Everyone does.
But it's just they make music to help us out.
Yeah.
And then like people are like they don't some people don't listen to it, some people do.
Yeah.
But it's whatever,
Yeah.
But it's just like it's such a like the audience is so big.
Right.
And then like it just keeps spreading.
That was the most amazing thing about all this.
Yeah, and then like you don't, because you never like back then you wouldn't really like hear that type of stuff,
No, most definitely.
And
not.
so now
most
it's like really dope to see all this like the youth talking more about mental health.
Yeah.
Like just artists, because it was weird back then. So
speaking out about it, and it's it's obviously more of an accessible thing because people got social media now, they're able to see it, and I think like you said, good catch. Anyways, I agree with you on that one. Like social media wise, like the audience was the most impressive thing about it, because you saw so many younger kids posting about Juice WRLD, and like it kind of shows you like, obviously if there's other artists that died, there's people that are affected by them that would post about it, regardless, right?
Yeah, I saw a lot of posts that day too.
Yeah, a death is a death, and it's unfortunate, but like with Juice WRLD, you saw how many people he really impacted through his music. Yeah. How many younger kids, like just little kids, I've seen like posting stuff. People our age and everything.
It's kind of crazy. I mean, like of course you have a couple of younger brothers.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's crazy, like just seeing that generation.
Oh, most definitely. And
so.
I think like it's just also like impressive too how like, I think for a lot of people, like you said, he opened up the whole mental health awareness thing. Because like I said, Juice WRLD was one of those artists where he kind of tended to mend a lot of like emo sort of lyrics that you'd see from like like pop punk bands.
Like My Chemical Romance.
My Chemical Romance.
Green
Day. What's another one of those bands? Blink-182. Yeah. All those little pop punk bands back in the early 2000s.
I was gonna say Slipknot, but I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
Slipknot's
a little different. More of a screamo wave.
I know, but like there's like I guess you could say inspirations.
Same in that same inspiration.
Influences.
And like what I wanted to really say is like it seems kind of like when Juice WRLD came around, because back then everybody, I feel like there was a whole emo trend back then, but like I feel like maybe a couple years back, the most popular wave of music was hip hop. And if you were kind of seen listening to music that was talking about emotions or heartbreak or feelings, and they had this like really overly done guitar solo and whiny voices, people kind of thought you were weird. Why are you listening to that weirdo emo white boy music? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the stereotype.
But now it's like acceptable, I guess.
And like what I can really thank Juice WRLD for is being like a music fan. He really like made that kind of acceptable.
Yeah, and just making people feel just to promote themselves.
Yeah, to promote their feelings.
Like just to promote how they feel, who they actually are.
Yeah.
And there's other artists that promote that too.
Yeah, of course.
But it's just he was one of the people to like promote that, because look where it got him,
Yeah, and it got him so huge. Like he ended up becoming one of the biggest, most mainstream rap artists, getting his albums to go #1, his songs to go #1. It's just insane to me, because like those people that I seen listening to Juice WRLD, I had never seen them listening to like any of those emo bands or anything, but like you could tell like the way he did it was so good, to where he mended hip hop in that genre so well that he could get a diverse audience.
Yeah.
So many different kinds of people to like be like, yo, I F with Juice WRLD's music. It's dope. It's relatable. Because, you know, people get attracted to beats too. So he was able to do it in a way. The beats, right. So he was able to do it in a way of like, okay, I'm going to make this emo-ass little pop punk song, but I'm going to add a trap beat over it so people can still get hyped to it. You know, so it's like I can be a simp at the same time, but I can still get hyped to it. And that's impressive. I mean, honestly, like, you know, some people say it's easy, but it really does take true talent to really mend genres together.
Yeah, because, I mean, you could try.
Yeah, you could try to do it.
It's only various people.
Yeah.
And, like, various groups of people, too.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's also, like, those collectives out there.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
It's also just a matter of, like, if you could do it well.
Yeah, you could do it well. Right.
Yeah, and so, like, thank you, you know? Thank you, Juice WRLD, thank you, Lil Peep, thank you, X, thank you, everybody.
One of the big three, I'd like to call them, you know?
The big three. I mean, there's Mac Miller. Mac Miller was like Mac Miller, he was like, I think for the older generation, maybe a couple more years older than us, like that was the wave back then.
Yeah.
And also he was like going through like
he was going through his stuff too.
Yeah,
it's sad to see just potential, you know, the guy could freestyle too, he could do lyrical kinds of rap too. So not only that, but he was diverse, you know. So he was doing multiple songs with I think Ellie Goulding, really big pop artist.
I just like saw the music video recently and I'm like, because like it's just him. It's like a very simplistic music video of him just like rapping and then smoke coming out of his mouth. And then
really? I actually haven't checked it out.
At the very end, he's kind of like, and then just Ellie Goldberg just kept singing like, "Hate me, hate me." Yeah, and I'm like, it's a really good song.
Yeah, it's a great song.
But other than that, to get back on topic.
Yeah.
In terms of the three of this generation,
yeah, they were really the big three.
Yeah, and so
hands down,
because they came. So I kind of said this before because we were recording this again.
Yeah.
But I kind of said this in the older video, which basically is kind of true. Like we had all this great talent come in at the start of the decade, and we had all this great talent exit at the end of the decade. Not all of it.
Not all of it.
But like in terms of like the most influential.
Yeah.
It's debatable, but the most influential people. They came and
they're gone.
And at the very end of the decade too. Like literally next month, new decade.
Yeah, I think this is a very dark way to end the decade.
It's a very
dark way.
It just depends, like because also, of course, it's a big loss.
Yeah.
But you gotta have to be optimistic.
Right.
And you know, so I send condolences to like the families of all three, or like every family that ever lost.
Any friends, family that's watching it, you know, I really feel for Ski Mask the Slump God too.
Yeah, that was a really sad thing that he posted. Like
I know he was close to Juice pretty much right after X had passed away.
Yeah,
and
it's just
it's a lot of junk.
I don't want to say like. It's just really like because he was so close to X.
Yeah.
And then he became close to Juice WRLD because I think that made him more closer.
Yeah, like because Juice WRLD had like I wouldn't say like their personalities were similar, but maybe it was that same kind of energy.
Yeah, and so like, they were on the same wave, but much more.
Yeah,
much more.
And they both had like that same vision of just being a talented artist because Juice WRLD had a really cult following too. You know, we've seen it obviously. You know, so they both had that in common.
I think X's fan base went to Juice and Ski.
Oh, I can most definitely agree with that. Because I remember too last year when I heard Legends, because Juice WRLD made a song called Legends and Rich and Blind. This time, it's just crazy because he literally says we ain't making it past
21,
and he literally died at 21. Super creepy. But anyways,
it's the same thing with Lil Peep. He passed away 14 days after his birthday.
It's insane.
And so,
but you know, to wrap that up, he actually, when he released that song, a lot of X fans were in the comments like, "Yo, we can't lose you too, Juice," and like everyone was kind of tripping about that.
You said something about a comment. You said something about we must protect Juice WRLD at all times.
There was a comment on the YouTube page, top comment. I remember seeing it so vividly. It said, "We must protect Juice WRLD at all times." And I was thinking to myself, I didn't really think anything of that comment, but I was like, yeah, that's true. He's a really talented artist. This guy's different. You know, he's on his own wave. He's helping people out. And boom, we lost him. Like, literally a year later. And I was like, wow. Like, I look back at that comment and I'm just like, that.
Because he did so much in a year.
Yeah, his accolades were insane.
Like, the start of it was Lucid Dreams.
Yeah, so actually to bounce off that, is that how you found out? Did you find out about him through Lucid Dreams, or how did you first kind of start discovering?
Originally it was all girls are the same. All girls are the same. And then like yeah, and then I just got into interviews because the type of person I am, I've discussed it in other podcasts, but if I like the person that I'm hearing or just interested in the person, I like to look at interviews.
Yeah, you're gonna check out to get more of that like personal.
And so connection. Like his like how he was as a person was really interesting to me.
Yeah,
and
most definitely.
Like, and I just like that, and so of course Lucid Dreams came out, or maybe after that.
Yeah.
And then yeah. Ever since that, got to I didn't get into every single one of his tracks.
Yeah.
But I would say influences were there.
Yeah, and it seems like just watching the interviews with like No Jumper that he had. I mean, you know, obviously he had his struggles, you know, like everyone does.
Yeah, because he talked about like drug use and then like
and a lot of his songs
like influences.
But you know, other than that though, like he really did seem like a kid that had a good head on his shoulders. Like when I watched the interviews with Juice WRLD, he was always just speaking about like just funny stuff or like real ass stuff that's happened. And like, you know, you see interviews with other rappers and like sometimes when they be interviewing them, they're just hella leaned out and they're like, oh, no.
I think it's a vibe. It's a vibe. I feel like I haven't done the drugs.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a vibe.
It's a vibe for some people.
And also, but like it's also an addiction.
Oh, most definitely.
So, I mean, like,
which is a serious thing to say.
I don't know. I can't really say. I can't really talk about that.
Yeah.
Like me personally, I can't really speak on something I don't know, like drug use.
Yeah.
But I know that it's like affecting the youth and stuff like that.
Yeah, something that needs to be taken care of. But other than that, you know, I first found out about him actually through my younger brother. Shout out to Elliot, the editor. You know, he's the third Rambler in disguise. That's not on the camera.
He's on the frame, but he's to our side right now.
You know what I'm saying?
That's not one.
I discovered him through him, and like I remember, I think it was before I actually saw All Girls Are the Same. He just showed me Juice WRLD on SoundCloud, and you know, one of the first songs I think he showed me by Juice WRLD was Moonlight. And I don't know if you ever heard that song.
Moonlight.
So he's just like dancing in the moonlight, dancing in the moonlight. Anyways, that's one of like the first songs I heard by Juice. But yeah, and now I was like, damn, this is pretty cool. Like this guy is like kind of singing. Like I like his style. And then All Girls Are the Same came out on Cole Bennett's channel.
Yeah.
And you know how Cole Bennett is when Lyrical Lemonade drops a video, the rappers tend to blow up like that.
Like not all of them.
Yeah.
But I feel like all of them.
It's a jump start for a career.
Yeah, it's a jump start for a career, and then you can take it from there.
So All Girls Are the Same came out. You know, that video went pretty big, and then my friends were kind of sending it to me my senior year of high school, so like 2018. They're like, yo, this Juice WRLD guy's gonna be big, bro. I'm betting it. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, he's talented, dude. And then, you know, obviously after that, over the summer, that's the song. He's playing in the background.
Hopefully we don't get copyrighted.
But it's low enough. Anyways, so that happened, and then Lucid Dreams got hella big over the summer.
Hell, it was like...
That song just exploded.
Memes. Because like, I think memes and now TikTok.
Yeah.
Because TikTok wasn't really last year, right?
Yeah.
Was it?
A little bit. I think now it started buzzing more.
Yeah, but like now it's like TikTok.
Yeah. Blowing up all the songs.
But that song went viral. Like Old Town Road. Like it was basically the Old Town Road.
If you haven't heard that song, you know, I think you're probably living under a rock or something. But
I mean,
or
sometimes older people, they don't tend to listen to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing is, the song went very viral. It was really big for Juice WRLD.
Yeah.
Really big because it opened up his
opened up doors for everybody.
It opened up his doors for himself, and then just bringing in more audience towards it.
Yeah, like I said, you know, he had that effect of bringing in, you know, the whole emo audience and people that listen to rap. So again, you know, that was just one of that effects, and yeah, that was basically how I learned about Juice WRLD.
Yeah. And
then from there, I kind of just listened to the songs up to his death. And that happened.
Sadly,
And sadly, you know, I was shocked after that.
Yeah, because
you know what I mean?
It's kind of surreal. Like, I don't want to keep coming back to it, but it's like that week you saw a lot of stuff, whether it's from his personal photographer Chris Long, like on the page, like he was like saying stuff's coming, you know, like nothing bad, but it's like, hey, there's so much stuff coming along, you know, we got so much stuff to showcase. And then
as far as you know, his accolades go, you know, he's always going to be remembered by a lot of kids in this generation. And you know, I think regardless of what people may think about Juice WRLD and a lot of these other artists, you can't deny the fact that they had a huge impact on a lot of people.
Yeah, they had a huge impact.
So I mean, that's just something that's undoubtedly said. You know, like, because everybody has their own personal opinions, but at the end of the day, like, you know, I don't really think a lot of people don't achieve the impact they have.
And they don't.
Of course, it's easier nowadays with social media and people being more easily influenced.
I think it's just the internet at this point.
Yeah, the internet.
social media, but of course, where would you be without the internet?
Yeah, internet, social media.
Internet money, bitch.
Shout out to Trippie Redd. Another one.
And internet money.
And internet money. Another one of the emo, whatever you want to call it.
It's it's a record label.
It's a record. Yeah,
Trippie
Redd, the emo man.
It's a collective of producers.
Oh, okay. That produced a song for him or whatever.
Nick Mira.
Yeah, Nick Mira, the Juice WRLD producer.
Shout out Nick Mira, but he's basically like the hottest producer in terms of that field right now.
That's crazy. No, yeah. So like, you know, as far as his legacy goes, and you know, obviously, it's sad, man, because we don't know much about the situation, and obviously, news is coming out every single day.
And then you hear a lot about like the drugs.
Yeah.
And then like.
So the only thing we really
like
know so far is, you know, he had the seizure on the plane. Now, supposedly, you know, I'm not even sure how accurate this is, because this is according to suspects that were at the scene or whatever. But supposedly, Juice WRLD was on the plane. He was with some of his homies. It was a private jet, and you know, some of the people had guns on them, and they had about 70 pounds of weed. So the pilot kind of freaked out, you know, knowing it's a safety precaution.
Yeah, because remember I talked to you about it, and at first you were kind of like, he's a snitch, but I'm like, bro, when you think
it's
about it,
not really a snitch.
When you think about it, like, there's so much weird things that are happening.
There's terrorists, there's hijackings. I mean.
Yeah, and so you never know what could really go.
Yeah, what could ever go down.
But then people also like, besides that,
yeah,
like, people like want to blame someone.
Right,
for something
right,
happening.
Right.
And so it's his fault. Oh, it's.
So he was probably more than likely doing his job.
He was just doing his job. He was scared.
He was scared, and it's understandable. So I guess what happened at that point, and again, this is according to what we know, right, off of these articles everywhere. But I guess what happened at that point is they started to search the plane, and according to suspects and witnesses, Juice WRLD had a bunch of Percocets, and in order to hide them to avoid a lot of jail time, he had swallowed them so that way, you know, the cops obviously wouldn't find anything. Now, unfortunately, after this, you know, we're not sure exactly if it was the drug related, but there's a more than likely chance it was, because he was bleeding from his mouth so severely, and he unfortunately passed away.
Yeah, I mean.
And it's really sad. Like, just hearing that situation makes me super sad, because I questioned so much. Like, I questioned the people that were around Juice WRLD, and I was like, I wish the situation could have gone differently. Now, I don't know if it was Juice that was like, yo, let's go on the plane, let's bring this, but I wish there was someone to, like, keep him safe, you know? Because, like, that whole situation, unfortunately, it just could have been prevented, and that's the saddest thing, because we lost such an amazing talent, and, like, if they wouldn't have had anything on the plane, you know, let's say Juice WRLD was still doing a couple drugs behind the scenes, none of that would have happened, so, you know, according to what we hear.
Well, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
But regardless of what happened, accusations, people, he's not being surrounded with the right people, everything, swallowing supposedly Percocets, even if it's not like of evidence, like there's no evidence of it, a man died.
Yeah,
a human being, a young man died.
A young man.
And I really don't really want to focus on that.
Yeah.
Because drug use, it's not nothing to shy away from, because it is affecting the youth in many ways, whether it's just, you know, like opioids or just like drugs and shit like that. But at the end of the day, a young man died. Yeah. And we shouldn't really talk about that. Yeah. We should just really, what we really should do is pay tribute to him. I agree. I don't want to knock you down. I'm not knocking down my cup, I'm not knocking down him, but like, just in general. No, we gotta acknowledge everything, and also it's a tribute to
I most definitely agree, but we really do need to open up the conversation about this kind of stuff, because honestly.
I'm not knocking down the conversation.
Yeah. But I'm just saying generalize though, because like, you know, obviously this is like you said, it happened with Pete, it happened with Fredo Santana, and now it happened with Juice WRLD. We gotta open up the conversation about addiction a lot more.
Like, of course, like. When the thing happened for Lil Peep, you saw X post about it. Yeah. Like, hey, fuck Xanax. Is like, he said that. Yeah. Fuck Xanax, but guess what? People still did Xanax.
People still do it.
It's because of it keeps going around, this negative, this negative message. Right. And the same thing happened when it wasn't really about X didn't die.
No. But like, I mean, X got shot.
Yeah. But like, no one was really saying anything about that. People were saying, "Oh, I'm gonna change my ways," but
no one did anything.
No one did anything. No one changed.
Yeah.
6ix9ine still went to jail. Yeah. Like all this other stuff.
It's sad. It's sad, man.
And so, like, looking at it, you had Kodak Black go to jail. You had 6ix9ine go to jail. You had all these other people's, like, just everybody, like that's when we say like the start of a decade and the end of a decade.
Yeah.
Everyone's either in jail or
really
dead.
weird time right
Why
now.
W. Nelly's in jail for a murder charge.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I just feel so like
this
terrible, man.
Yeah, like people should talk about drug use.
No, yeah. Oh, I'm not even, and to be honest with you guys, I'm not even knocking Juice WRLD. Honestly, I really don't think that he was someone that, in my opinion, he never glorified drugs. I think the way he said
it was a way of him coping it.
It was a way of coping it. You know, like he was telling you in his songs, everyone struggles with their own mental problems and, you know, needs help from their peers. And in his songs, every song he was mentioning drugs, but the reason for this is because this is how he was coping with his life.
Yeah.
And I think he even said, like, nah, like, I'm not glorifying this lifestyle. Like, this is just how it is for me.
People saw it as that, but in reality, like, he was just struggling.
Yeah, some people saw it as glorification. Now, here's where I come in with this. I mean, I think there are a lot of rappers right now that are glorifying a lot of drugs, you know. For example, like, you hear on the radio, it's just talking about, you know, and I get there's a time and place for everything. There's a time and place to party and have a good time. But really what this is doing is it's causing a negative impact on younger kids. Because, like, ever since this whole talking about Xans on the radio and partying kind of came around, I've seen, like, little-ass kids doing this, like, in middle school and all that. Man.
Like, you also had another artist.
Yeah.
His name was hella sketchy. No one really...
Yeah.
I don't want to say
hella
no
sketchy.
one.
He was a producer as well, right?
He was a producer, but then an artist, and then he died.
Of Xans, right?
Of Xans, because he took too many.
And the kid was like 17 or something, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't he super young?
I'm not sure exactly what his age was,
yeah.
But that's another victim of dying due to drugs.
Ridiculous, dude. And yeah.
And like, as I'm saying, like,
yeah.
Like, no one is willing to talk about it.
Yeah, I hope, like, at least from what I found out after Juice WRLD and appreciate him so much, I really hope, like, a lot of people in hip-hop sort of realize, you know, people that want to be upcoming rappers or people that are just listening to this kind of music, like, we should slowly start to change the norm of talking about Xans and all that kind of stuff all the time, because you could still make feel-good music without mentioning that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And the problem is like, people will say, well, you know, it's up to an individual to make the choices for right or wrong. I do agree with that. But the thing is like, you see how many kids are influenced by this kind of stuff. For example, we saw how many kids love Juice WRLD and were influenced by him. So these kids are also looking up to other rappers that are talking about actually glorifying drugs, and like, this is where the conversation really needs to change. And I think it's sad because the industry obviously is profiting off these kids that are talking about being depressed, being sad. You know, I was having a conversation with my friend Isaiah, you know, shout out to him, and he was telling me, dude, like, record labels are looking for these kind of kids that are like talking, like, they like make so much money off these kids.
Or they change these kids.
They change these kids.
Because like, people they always like, someone always tries to like recreate something, whether it's Juice WRLD, an X, or a P.
Yeah.
Or even another person that's like hot right now, Lil Uzi Vert.
Yeah.
Like, it's like people just try to like, always trying to market off something.
Trying to market. And it's like, you know, and it's a two-way street, you know, obviously, it comes from us too, because, you know, we're the ones that we buy party kind of music, we stream it, we listen to it. So the industry knows what sells. You know, if we keep listening and kind of glorifying that sort of behavior, then they're gonna keep like using these kids, you know, that are going through a lot, or they're going to use them and make tons of money off them and milk them. And I mean, not to say Juice WRLD was a result of that, because again, he was going through his stages and he was battling his demons, but it's just kind of sickening, especially because after now that he's gone, who knows what's going to happen after with this record label, man. In conclusion, you know, rest in peace to Juice WRLD. He was an amazing artist, super young, that left an impact on a lot of people, and I still can't believe that he's gone. I can't even believe that I'm saying this right now. But I want to say condolences to his family, his friends, his girlfriend, his mother, Ski Master Slump God, anybody that was close and that may be watching this video. And I really hope things will get more positive in the next decade. theramblerzpodcast signing off. You guys have a great night.
Have a good night, good morning, whatever.
Whatever you call it. Peace.
First time I ever had my heart broken was like my sophomore year. I look back now, I'm like, wow, that was not a serious situation, bro. It was on some teenage emotions type. You know, like where you kind of just blowing everything out of proportion. And every bad thing equals the end of the world. Even before I started recording music, like a long time ago, just listening to it was therapy. Just like an escape from everything. That's as long as I can remember. I always used to get lost in music.